Let's go over the dumbbell hang snatch. The idea with this exercise is to drop your hips, generate power, and explode and get the weight to go overhead, in which case then you catch it, okay? So we're going from this hanging position with the dumbbell to overhead, okay? And it's about generating power, dropping your hips, right? Not too far, but far enough that you can explode and generate enough power that this weight actually travels up overhead, mostly with lower body intent. The upper body is really just directing it. There's not a lot of pulling, okay? Your upper body will be active for sure, but the power really comes from your lower body, specifically your hips. So let's look at a couple repetitions here. When I pick up my dumbbell, I like to hold it against my body like this, just kind of like a resting position. Then when I'm ready to go, I turn the dumbbell in, drop my hips, and then I snatch. Now, what you're gonna see here is that I drop my hips, I explode. Yes, I am shrugging through the shoulder. My upper body is helping. But as my upper body directs the dumbbell up, I want the dumbbell to travel a rather straight path, and then it's my job to drop my level to get underneath the weight a little bit to make the catch easier. So watch that part. When I drop my level, you'll notice that I get into a shallow squat in order to get underneath it for the catch. So you can see that when I catch, I'm actually dropping and catching here instead of being straight-legged and catching up here. If I'm straight-legged trying to make the catch, what happens is the weight kind of crashes down on me. It's a little bit jarring. It doesn't feel smooth and it doesn't feel good on my shoulder. So I have to get underneath the weight in order to make that nice soft transition into the catch position. Let's look at this from the side. So once again, dropping underneath allows you to make that catch. And when I start, I'm dropping my hips to about here, and now I explode. And I shrug, all right? And if it's really heavy, I might even need to get up here on my toes a little bit, and then eventually I change my level to get underneath that weight. So remember, the path of the dumbbell is pretty much straight. You don't want the dumbbell coming out in front of you, okay? It'll pull you out of position and make it hard to balance. You want it traveling straight up until eventually you change your level and get underneath it. The heavier you go, the more you have to rely on technique. If you start out light, you might catch yourself muscling it with the upper body. That's usually what happens. As you get heavier, the weight becomes the best teacher. Because in order to move heavier weight, you have to start relying on your hips for generating the power. And you have to start relying on dropping underneath the weight to make the catch, because you won't be able to move heavy weight as far vertically. So you might explode and only get the weight to about right here, and then it's your job to squat and get underneath it. So just remember those things as you're working through this exercise. And again, this is a speed and strength kind of thing. Think power. Move the weight fast. That's the goal.